Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm E, and this is SimplyPutScents. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a fragrance that came out in 2015 by the house of Viktor and Rolf, and the fragrance is Spicebomb Extreme. Now, when I first smelled it, the first thing that came to my mind was, wow, this almost is Tom Fordish. Now, I know to a lot of people that would be almost sacrilege to say, but no, seriously, this has a very, very Tom Ford-ish-esque vibe, however you want to put it. Tom Ford-esque, Tom Ford-ish. It's very Tom Ford-like. Now I have to preface, it's more like Tom Ford if he had a limited budget and he were making a designer fragrance. This reminds me of, let's say, a designer alternative to Tobacco Vanille. Don't get me wrong, Tobacco Vanille is the way superior fragrance. Tobacco Vanille is a much warmer, much denser, much more high quality fragrance. But Spicebomb Extreme is a really, really, really decent designer alternative, I would say. To me, Spicebomb Extreme smells a lot like its original, but a little bit more sophisticated and mature. Now, it's as sweet as the original, but with this fragrance, they really take out much of all the notes from the original, except for the tobacco. This scent relies heavily on an amped up tobacco and really, really relies on a new note from the Spicebomb palette, vanilla. And I'm a huge fan of vanilla fragrances, so I have to be really, really careful about my ratings in this review. I have to kind of take myself out of like what I like and kind of think about what you guys are interested in also. The performance of this fragrance was really good. It lasts about 6 to 8 hours on my skin, which is about average. But the sillage and projection is where this fragrance is really overwhelming. I would say that in the first hour or so, be very careful. I would spray this fragrance only about 3 to 4 times, and if I ever had to reapply, I would only spray it once after that, because I'm telling you, the first initial hit is explosive, just like this bottle. This is a bomb, and when you spray it on yourself for that first hour, you're exploding, and everyone will smell you. So be very, very careful with the sprays when you are using this fragrance. But I definitely would say that the projection and the sillage is very, very good. It doesn't really go down towards a skin scent until like hour number 6. And at that point, toward the end of it, it's much more quiet. When to wear Spicebomb Extreme is made perfectly to work for those colder seasons. I also think this is more of a casual fragrance. I wouldn't really wear this to work, and I really wouldn't wear this to a formal situation because I really don't think that it's classy enough to fit that type of setting. But I definitely think for night out casual situations, clubbing situations, situations at a pub, a bar, whatever that you like to do that's leisurely and comforting, I definitely think this scent would work wonders. Uniqueness. Is Spicebomb Extreme a unique fragrance? I really wouldn't say it is. There are a lot of fragrances that pretty much do close to what Spicebomb Extreme is doing. Honestly, even though that is the case, I still really appreciate this fragrance regardless. But I definitely do not think it's the most original smelling fragrance in the world. First of all, it smells like it's original, so how original can it be? It is what it is, right? Value. Now, is this scent's value more than the price to own it? The cost of this fragrance, which is around $60 to $70 at discounters, I think that's a very reasonable price. However, if you're not a fan of sweet fragrances, if you're not a fan of vanilla fragrances, or if you're not a fan of tobacco, you would definitely not find value in this fragrance. But I personally think it's worth the price to own it. Compliments. Now, I would definitely say as far as compliments goes, Spicebomb Extreme has done a great job for me. I've received a lot of compliments since I bought this last year in December, and it's been really, really doing a great job for me. And to me, I really find that this is a people pleaser. I think it would definitely get a lot of compliments from people who love sweet, warm fragrances. The negatives of this fragrance. Now, there are a few negatives of this fragrance that are noteworthy, worth knowing about, and worth considering, I would say. Now, some people do find that the name Extreme is misleading. I must admit, I disagree. I find that even though, to be honest with you, I would have named this fragrance Spicebomb Noir, I do feel like it is a more extreme version of the original. Why? Because I feel like it's a much more denser, a much more mature, much more sophisticated, much more grown up version of the original. So in that case, I do understand how it can have the extreme moniker. Although, again, I definitely would have called it noir, but that's just what I think, so whatever. If you're gonna be around people within the first hour and you overspray this fragrance, you will definitely probably make a few people annoyed. It's one of those fragrances that you can definitely over apply, and it will not do a good thing for your image. It will not do a good thing for your impressions. So keep that in mind if you're wearing this fragrance within that first hour. Be gentle to others. Another negative is, to some people, the sweetness. The sweetness is extremely overwhelming, especially in the first hour and a half. Some people who are not really a fan of sweet fragrances, I would definitely suggest trying something like Bulgari Man in Black, which is similar in its vibe to this fragrance, but far, far less sweet. I use the P.A.G.E system, guys. And the P.A.G.E system is P for poor, A for average, G for great, E for exceptional. So where does Spicebomb Extreme land on the page? Thanks a lot, Lanier. I actually have 2 ratings for this scent. And the reason is because I'm a little biased. So I have a biased rating, and then I have a more unbiased rating. The biased rating is a strong G. I really have to admit that I do love the scent. I do love the longevity. I do love the way it carries on my skin. It's not the most complicated, complex fragrance. It's not the most high quality, but it is a very quality vanilla male fragrance. And for that reason alone, it's something that I really, really appreciate. So I would have to give it a personal rating of a G. If I were being unbiased, I would have to consider this scent an A. It's an average scent. I don't believe that it's a titan in its genre. I don't believe it's one of the best in its genre. I just really do believe that it's a very, very good people-pleasing fragrance that has a really, really strong punch, even though that might be a little bit overwhelming at times to some people, and it might be a little overly sweet for some people, but it is very much so an unbalanced fragrance with average ingredients, and for that reason I would have to give it an A rating. So thanks so much for watching Simply Put Scents. I really do love this fragrance, even though my honest opinion has to be it's an average scent. Sometimes we love average fragrances, right? Thanks so much again for watching. Take care. See you soon.